warm-up for you. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine. You sound good. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. So now we've got to get ourselves in a dancing mood, we've got a little call and response song. If you're feeling in the mood, come on, stand up. I sing, you echo me. Jewel will be echoing me, so if you're not sure what to do, you follow Jewel. Eyes shine, feet dance. Let's pick up the tempo. Feet dance. Heart sing, when given a chance. When given a chance, spirit loves to dance. Spirit loves to dance. Spirit loves to dance. Spirit loves to dance. We'll get it together. Do that again. Eyes shine, feet dance, feet dance. Heart sing, when given a chance, when given a chance. Spirit loves to dance.
Good morning. How are all of you beautiful people doing today? How are all of you beautiful people doing today? That's the 11:30 I love. Lisa and Jewel, thank you very much for your hearts. We appreciate it. Thank you. And also the boys in the corner, Dan, Max, and Dan. Yay! Thanks for being here, bros. So please help me welcome our friends online to our service. So if you please turn. Good morning, my friends and our friends. Thank you so much for being here. Please know that you are an important part of our spiritual community, and so we are so glad that you're with us. Thank you. We have a special singer today. Well, he's not really a guest. He's special, but he's not a guest. Jabari Anderson. Thank you for sharing your heart through your music. And I was here at 9:30. It's pretty awesome, let me tell you. So we're gonna do our statement of faith right now. And you know how that goes when I'm up here, right? Because we know that unity is a positive path for spiritual living. And we also know here at Unity of Walnut Creek we have a mission. And that mission is this. In loving community, we empower spiritual growth by modeling and teaching universal spiritual principles. Amen? Amen. Yo, bro? Yo, bro. Right on. So now we're going to do our statement of faith. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath. And on the exhale, we're going to say thank you. And we're going to move into our affirmation. Okay, so with me, take a deep breath. And say thank you. Yeah. And then let's do our affirmation. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Yummy. Yummy, yummy for the heart. It's time to welcome our newcomers. So if you're new to Unity, if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for being with us. We invite you to raise your hand if you're comfortable in doing so that we may bring you a welcome packet. There is also a connection card in your packet. Please take it to our bookstore for an additional welcome gift of a wooden necklace handmade by one of our congregants. Okay. If you would rather, you may pick up a packet at our welcome table, which is across the courtyard over there, and still visit the bookstore for your gift. So thank you for being here. And for you vets, there's a connection card available for you in the seat pocket in the seat in front of you. With this card, you may submit a prayer request for our prayer chaplains that will be praying with you throughout the week. You may also share feedback on these cards. And if you do that, if you request information, our staff will respond to you during office hours. The ushers will receive these cards during the offerings. So thank you so much for that. And now it's huggy time. And if you don't know what that is, or I'm getting there. And if you don't feel like getting a hug, please let us know and we'll greet you with a warm handshake. So until you hear the gong, please greet your neighbor. Let me. Hey, good morning, Ann.
Good morning. Nice time.
Thank you. Good morning, brother.
Can I give a hug?
Yes, you can get a hug.
All right.
Glad you're here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Ciel, and I would like to ask you to join us today for an author reading and conversation with Tricia Linden. Tricia writes novels that celebrate the magical power of love, romance, and relationships. We'll also have a light lunch and special discounts in the bookstore. And we are still collecting good quality books today and next Sunday for the Prisoners Literature Project. Please pick up a flyer on the patio today for more information. And there is still room in Reverend Kristen's day-long nature immersion retreat this Friday at Briones National Park. Or not National Park, it's just Regional Park. It doesn't say anything here, but I'm just calling it Regional Park because that's what it is. See the flyer on the patio for details on how to register. We will be collecting new teddy bears for the next 2 Sundays, and we will fill them with our love before we give them to children in need of comforting bears. Our bookstore has many, many, many bears for you to love, then pass on to a child. We also have sign-up sheets on the patio for play dates and also the Thanksgiving potluck. And please take a close look at today's bulletin for details on all of these and other activities. And now Lisa?
Of course, I knew that. I am so well prepared. All right. How many of you know I am so blessed? I am so blessed. How many of you know God is my source? God is my power. Then you know Karen Drucker. Karen is coming next Sunday. And we have the pleasure and joy of having Karen lead our first service and in music and give the talk, the message, and our 11:30 service. So she will be doing music and talk for both services. And then she will be giving a concert in the afternoon. So we have a beautiful Karen Drucker celebration next Sunday. What was that? Oh, thank you. And she has a new CD. So this is also a CD release party in the afternoon at 2:00. And so you're invited to, bring a brown bag lunch and join us here in between services, or get your lunch and come on at 2:00. And Karen will be starting us off in our change of service times and format of services. So starting next week, there will not be an 8:00 service. There will be a 9:00 service. There will be contemplative, which Karen will be leading, and there will be the 11:30. So the 11:30 time does not change, but we have the 9:00 service. Anything else? So I hope to see you all here for a fun Karen Drucker Day.
And now let's have some more music.
Can we say Oya Heya? That means praise the Spirit in a language from Uganda. So when you hear it, you can join in, okay? I will listen to the music of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song God is singing. I will listen all day long. I will listen all day long. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Spirit all day long. Praise the Spirit all day long. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Hallelujah. 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 I'm moving to the rhythm of the Holy Spirit. This dance of life, God inspired, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong. Oh yeah, hey yeah. 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 Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey yeah. Hallelujah. Praise the Spirit all day long. Praise the Spirit all day long. Praise the Spirit all day long.
So let's take that beautiful music. Thank you, Jabari. That praising of the Spirit deep into our hearts as we prepare for this time of meditation.
Joy and peace in my heart. Always I feel joy and peace in my mind. God within revealed joy and peace in my life. I am healed. Joy and peace in my heart. Always I feel joy and peace in my mind. God within revealed joy and peace in my life. I am healed. I am healed.
So as we take a breath, that praise of Spirit, the joy and peace within us, raises itself up. And we become increasingly aware of the joy that lives within us at all times. I invite you to bring into your heart and your mind's eye a time of joy, a memory, an image, maybe even of yourself as a child. Just take a moment to really feel and experience, to re-experience that memory or that image of joy. Allow a smile to come to your face, just even if it's ever so slight, turning up the corners of your mouth on each side, and then noticing too how as you smile, not only is your face smiling, but your heart begins to smile as well. Notice how that uplifting energy of the smile moves throughout your entire being, uplifting all the cells of your body, maybe even allowing you to sit up a little bit higher. Joy of spirit is always available to us. When we find ourselves thinking otherwise, believing somehow something is missing or not quite right, we can just settle into this space, sing a song of joy. Even a slight smile upon our face, kind of a Mona Lisa smile, can bring a shift to the joy that resides right here, right now. So let's just take a moment to be with the spirit of joy deep inside our own beings. Perhaps continuing with your memories and images of joy, or simply allowing all of that to fade away, and be in the silence for a moment with the God of joy. And so now again, returning that smile to your face, to your heart. And as we begin to close out our meditation, bringing that smile, even if it's just a hint of the inner joy that is always available to you, being shared with the world. And so it is.
Joy and peace in my heart, always I feel. Joy and peace in my mind, God within revealed. Joy and peace in my life.
a sense of wonder. You get your food to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. Know that God's love will never leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And you, when you get the choice to sit it out and dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Love's who you really are, soon there'll be no mistaking. Don't let your growing pains leave you bitter. When coming close to selling out, reconsider. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out and dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out and dance, dance. I know we'll dance. When we join hands and dance, be courageous and give love a chance. A nightmare or a dream, unity or us versus them, in the awareness of the dream. True love in our awakening. When we wake up, guess what? We dance. We dance.
I got so lost there. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm speaking now. Get your notes. Wow, wow. Thank you for your gift, Jabari. Jabari's back. I told him, we connected several times, and I said, I just love your joyous countenance. You know, he's such an active listener, so I connect with him in the audience often. And I didn't know until Lisa and Tyler told me that he sang too. Well, when's he coming to sing? The day has arrived on Joy Sunday. And also thanks so much to Lisa and Jewel and the band, all of you. Yeah. Yeah, music and joy, it all goes together, doesn't it? This has also been a special weekend of honoring our vets. And if you are a vet, I would like to invite you to stand as you are able and let us congratulate you and honor you and give thanks for you. Wow, we had a lot of vets in the 1130. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your sacred service. This is a series that we're culminating today on sacred activism, and certainly you know that well as somebody who risked your life and gave for all of us. So here we are, arriving at the great joy. After riding along with the hope all this series, these 7 weeks. You know, yesterday I had the honor of being invited to a celebration of life service to speak there, and it was one of our congregants, Jackie Grant. Some of you may know Jackie Grant. Her husband Nick and family were celebrating her life. And Jackie was really active here, I think, back in the Carol Ruth Knox days, and has been. I met her, so she came Easter Sunday and a few times. Anyway, Jackie was a really joyful presence, a really radiant smile. And as soon as I walked into the place, not only was the chapel itself really beautiful with lots of live plants and white chairs and just kind of a very alive feeling in there, but there were pictures of Jackie's radiant smile everywhere. One of the things that was most unusual that I've never seen at a memorial service is in the vestibule they had really brightly colored clothes, like pink fuchsia capris and a purple shirt and a multicolored jacket and a bright blue scarf and a pink hat to top it all off. And it was all just kind of arranged in such a way that it was almost like a person was there, but it wasn't a mannequin or anything. And so they referred to that as Jackie. And Jackie got moved from the vestibule into the altar area when it was time to celebrate her life and have people share. So it was really a beautiful thing to be a part of. And one of the things that Nick, her husband, shared was that she was one of those people that just had this kind of contagious kind of way of being. He said people would just fall under her spell, as he did, obviously. And that spell was a spell of joy. So how lovely to go to this place, what seeming is a seeming facing of death, and have it be such a joyful recognition of what we say in unity is making our transition, right? Moving from one form into another. When we are, as a person, someone who shows up with that kind of joy, that's the legacy we live, right? Or we leave behind. If it's love, then it's love that we leave behind. Maybe it's some combination of love and joy and peace and so on. The kinds of qualities that we really strive to, or not even strive, that we really just embody here at Unity, right? The core values that we hold. So the ancient Egyptians had a way of being, when the transition happened of life, they believed that you were asked 2 primary questions at that time as you were making your transition. And if your answer was no to either of them, you had more work to do before you fully entered into heaven. And the 2 questions that were significant as you were ending this earthly life were, did you find joy? And secondly, did you bring joy? So we ourselves, we don't have to wait for that moment, right, at the pearly gates. We can, so to speak, we can ask ourselves those questions all the time, every day. Did I find joy today? Did I bring joy today? How will I find and bring joy today? You know, we generally finding it is a good idea first, because then we can really bring it, right? But this ongoing question can be present for us. In a Chinese proverb, they say that one joy chases away 100 griefs. That one joy can scatter griefs everywhere. And so one moment of laughter, one moment when we are fully present in the joy of this moment, completely engaged in the bliss of the Spirit within us. Those kinds of moments that stand still, where we are completely unaware of time, those moments can scatter 100 griefs. They do, in fact. So this great joy that we're entering today has 6 weeks of at least 6 weeks of time that is before it. And so I want to go back a little bit and take you through the journey that we've been on. The very first week of this journey, what we did was faced the deaths that are going on in the world. The way Andrew Harvey phrased it was the deaths, right? The many ways in which things are possibly dying away or definitely dying away in our world, things we must say goodbye to. As we then say hello to what it is that we are rebirthing. But that first week, I know some of you who especially were in the study group said, that chapter was really hard. You know, just reading about all this stuff going on in the world and really taking that in. And I think also it's really hard because it's not like you're just watching the news, but you're with a spiritual group of people with hearts wide open, and you're coming to this in spiritual work. And so our hearts are open in a kind of different way, a more maybe tender way, a more compassionate way. So it really gets in there. But that is part of the work, you know, to let it get in there, to let ourselves feel what we feel, and then to move beyond. And so that first week was maybe one of the most difficult weeks along this journey, although we had some other times along the way that we looked at some difficult things. We embraced on this journey the mystical renaissance. And the mystic means, or mystical means, the direct experience with God, right? So the mystic is one who directly experiences God. So our mystical side is the side of us that is attuned within. And when we feel that presence, when we perhaps go into meditation or prayer together is one of the likely times that we begin to feel that presence and become aware of that presence and have that experience. Or for many of you who are nature mystics, you really experience that in a place of nature, a place of community perhaps, a place of creativity perhaps. If you're a musician or an artist, in those moments you really experience that divine presence. So the mystic is one aspect, and this journey has been about marrying that mystic, that inner part of us, that experiencer of God, with the one who expresses, the activist in us. The activist in us is the one who is giving, who is sharing, the bringer of joy, right? So when we're grounded in that place of the truth of who we are, the spirit of who we are, and we're giving from that place, then things are really lining up, you know, and we are giving, bringing joy and giving in a place of joy, giving back to ourselves in joy, because everything is coming from that source, that place of origin, that place of where the joy originates within us as well, that natural state of being that we are. We also on this journey went back to our spiritual practices and said, let's, you know, revisit those. Look at what really works for us. We talked about cool practices and warm practices. Cool practices like meditation that are calming and peaceful and tranquil, and warm practices that really engage the heart, like chanting, or that engage the body-centered practices like martial arts or yoga or dance, movement of all kinds. And then we also talked about dreams and bringing dreams into our spiritual practice, paying attention to the language of spirit that speaks to the subconscious mind in the night. And all of these along the way were building blocks. And then every so often we looked at difficult things again. You know, this is the spiritual journey, isn't it, in a nutshell? We looked at the inner saboteurs, the places where we might stop ourselves from the progress that we wish to make. And we looked at the individual personal shadow as well as the collective shadow. The places that we hadn't yet seen before, which is really what a shadow is, brought it out into the light to see so that it could be healed. A lot got accomplished in these many weeks. We also alchemized our anger and our sorrow, and we did that transmutation of common metal into gold, that idea of alchemy. We used that with our own anger, with that fierce kind of energy that anger can be, that fiery energy. We worked with it in order to transform it into a fierce love, into a passion, into a righteous anger that is softened to the point that we can say, no to what we need to say no to, that we can stand in our strength and our power, but that we can also move into the places where we want to be, with compassion, with kindness, with love and connection. All of that alchemy of anger and sorrow resulted in that greater good, those actions for the greater good. We built community. Last week we talked about the networks of joy, the collaborative networks of joy, the importance of what a small group can do together, like the study and service groups that we've begun, some of which will probably continue on together in some shape or form, and also all the ways in which our small groups connect to larger networks. So each of us has many different ways in which we connect with the world, in which we act out in the world as a sacred activist, as we become a bringer of joy. And those all get connected in that great web in a conscious way as we begin to see, oh yeah, so here I am with my team and I get this inspiration, I bring that inspiration to my workplace, or I bring that inspiration to my family, or I bring it to this other community. And on it goes, spreading as a network of grace that raises the vibration together of this earth and turns us to the mystical renaissance, from the death into the rebirth, just like Jackie just experienced, just like anyone who you love has just experienced. There was a memorial here yesterday in this room as well. And so that energy is here of rebirth, of new beginnings, of graduation, of moving from one form of being into another. And that seems to me what's happening on the collective level. We're on the joy end at this moment in time. We may go back into moments of addressing shadow, facing death, alchemizing anger. But it's all part of the realness of our path. It's all part of the embracing of the wholeness of who we are on this journey. So did you find joy? Did you bring joy? That's the reverberating question for today. The great joy. Andrew Harvey, when he talks about the great joy, is talking about those moments when we have that experience where we touch the hem of the garment, if you will. We have that feeling of the divine in us, that oneness, that suspension of everything else. And it is only God now. We are one with that presence. Sometimes we have that in collective groups, those moments, which is even more powerful. And sometimes we have it alone or with the living beings that are around us in different forms. But when we have that experience, then it is our impetus immediately when we find joy to bring joy, right? When we find God to share God. When we find bliss to want to spread it out into the world, because it's more fun when shared, right? Life is more fun when it's shared. When someone laughs, everybody laughs. There's a sort of a contagion to that, a happy contagion to laughter and to joy. See? We'll come back. So for many of us, the question is, joy can sometimes feel elusive. Anybody have that experience where you feel like joy can be a little bit elusive? Yeah. And part of it is because, we're grown-ups. And as grown-ups, we tend to have responsibilities, we have a deeper understanding of things that are happening, and we shoulder that, shoulder that in the world. So there is that sense of kind of that balance of the grief and the joy, right? Part of that is the reality of being human at this time. But yet our natural state, our absolute natural state is that joy. And so finding it becomes part of the game in this spiritual journey. And it is a game when we're talking joy. It is playful when we're talking about joy. So here are some suggestions. Here's one that I've just done recently that I will offer to you. Invite a 4-year-old to come live with you. instant joy, I tell you, all the time. It's spontaneous, it's play, there's busting out in dance and song and whatever at any time. We have a clock on our wall that, every hour, it's really beautiful, it goes off, it plays a song, the world opens up, this little dancing figure comes out, And as adults in the home, after a while, you kind of get used to that, and you just don't really pay that much attention to it. But not Grace. When the hour hits, we're all called into the room so that we all may dance to the song, and it's great fun, right? Yeah. So if it's not practical right now for you to invite a 4-year-old to come live with you, which I didn't also think it was very practical, you can invite a puppy or a child, right? A puppy or a kitten or a child. I said child already though. Or maybe if you don't want to do any of those things, you could just go spend some time hanging out with some kids and some puppies and some kittens, because they just bring that natural child out in us, that natural joy out in us. And it brings it closer to the surface and reminds us to lighten up, to loosen up, to lose some of our self-consciousness, to dance, right? Hear the call of Jabari through the week. Dance, and allow yourself to be in the spontaneity of that joy. So there are other things we can do, certainly. One of the things that happens a lot for us is that we tend to focus on the thing that we think isn't working right, or the thing that isn't missing, or the thing that we believe is missing. So we might have 10 things going really great in our lives, and then the 11th thing, maybe not exactly how we want it. But do you ever notice that some of us tend to zero in on that one extra thing, that 11th thing that isn't going as well? And so, the Sufis have a great saying about this. Within your own house lies the treasury of joy, so why go begging door to door? Right here is the joy. It doesn't have to be out here. And right here, nothing is missing. And so that idea that there's something missing or something not quite right, we can let that go as we begin to focus more and more on what is working, on what does bring joy, and allow that happiness to come up. It takes over the others. We forget the others because, again, we then turn into the present moment. We are then fully present to the divine. Mary Oliver is a poet who finds this kind of complete joy in nature, and I want to share this poem with you called Mindful. Every day I see or hear something more or less that kills me with delight, that leaves me like a needle in a haystack of light. It was what I was born for, to look, to listen, to lose myself inside this soft world, to instruct myself over and over in joy and acclamation. Nor am I talking about the exceptional, the fearful, the dreadful, the very extravagant, but of the ordinary, the common, the very drab, the daily presentations. Oh, good scholar, I say to myself, how can you help but grow wise with such teachings as these? The untrimmable light of the world, the ocean's shine, the prayers made out of grass. Causes of joy are everywhere present. Causes of those moments of complete oneness with spirit, back to that natural state, that wonder, that awe, that childlike kind of joy, are available to us always, the wonders of the world everywhere present around us. Dwight Jones, the National Geographic photographer, said he was once sent out on a mission, and the mission was to basically capture the mission of National Geographic, was to go out and they told him, photograph what's right with the world. And he said that that's why most of us feel like it's sacrilegious when we try to get rid of our old National Geographic magazines. No one wants to throw out what's right with the world. Certainly not us, right? Because this is what we're all about, right? Bringing forth what is right with the world, already here, already present, just like it is within us. What is right, what is perfect, what is whole, what is joyful, what is blissful, what makes us dance and sing spontaneously is already here. It's a matter, as the great mystic Meister Eckhart said, of subtraction, not addition. It's a matter of removing that which burdens us, letting go of that self-consciousness, lightening up, and allowing ourselves to feel the joy, to experience the joy, to be in that place of playfulness. It's not all so serious. In fact, it is. See, we could even make Mona Lisa laugh, so. She's laughing, not just the crack of the smile, but the whole laugh. And so it is for all of us, right? That spontaneous laughter, and that is so lovely to hear your laughter like that all together. One of the things is just, as always in unity, it's shifting our mindset, right? It's changing out of that space of something's not quite right or something's missing into the splendor and the wonder of what is available to us. Eric Butterworth says in his book, Celebrate Yourself, why do we let thoughts corrode our minds and blind us from the sheer thrill of living? When the ties that bind the mind are broken, he says, and a person is introduced to their real self without limitations, the bells of heaven ring for joy. Because it is in those moments that we return home. It's in those moments that we are returned to the natural state that is our joyful self. And it's in those moments that there is no sense, as he says, of limitation or ideas about who we should be, but we're just simply who we are, like a child or a puppy or a kitten. You can tell I'm fond of those. Laughter is cleansing. There's a Yiddish proverb that says, what soap is to the body, laughter is to the soul. Laughter is a workout. Norman Cousins said laughter is inner jogging, you know, because all the organs get that sort of jostling around and sort of massaged. And the Japanese proverb that says simply, time spent laughing is time spent with the gods. So laughter is something that, as I mentioned before, we all love to do together. Would you like to share another laugh? Yeah. Just start laughing whenever you want. See? Jenny, I am so glad you're back. We are an easy crowd, it's true. And it's awesome, isn't it? Yeah. Remember to do this when you get home. Just, you know, anybody who wasn't here with you today, just share a really good laugh with them. Just start hysterically laughing like Jenny kind of got us going, you know? And once you start, it's like it doesn't matter what you're laughing about, right? You're just in it. You're in the joy. You're in the laughter. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So even in the seriousness of facing these deaths that we talked about at the beginning of this series, we can be in a place of joy. We can hold both. We have the capacity to hold both. And as we bring that sense of, yes, I understand the importance of this, whatever this heaviness is, and bringing the lightness to that, it's not dishonoring it, but it's lifting it up. It's transforming it. It's alchemizing it, if you will. It's allowing it to be transmuted into the love and the joy and the peace and the connection that we all came here to be. So together, as we come together in groups, in small groups, as a full community, we are collaborators of this joy. We are networking the grace as well as the joy. And we're bringing that forth in all the ways that we might choose to be sacred activists in the world. Again, sacred activists meaning the marriage of the mystical in us as well as the activist in us, who is out there making a difference through our actions that are grounded in spirit and certainly expressed in joy. When we express in joy, when we allow ourselves to really dance, to dance upon the earth, quite literally we can be massaging the earth and healing her back into wholeness. When we sing, we can be joining with the harmonies all around the world. As we harmonize together, we lift that vibration up to such a greater level. And we can, as we laugh, let that laughter reverberate through our places of worship, our places of work, our places of play, nature itself, our homes, and allow that to be really grounded in the walls and the ceilings and the floors of the places in which we move and have our being. This is the great joy. We have arrived at the great joy. It's been such a pleasure to take this journey of hope with you and to land in a place where we can harmonize our joy. So enjoy this week and stay tuned for our next series. God bless.
Thank you so much. I feel joy-filled, ready to spread. Our prayer chaplains are available. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Our prayer chaplains are available after this service to provide you with personal prayer support. They are wearing the lavender stoles. I see some. Okay, as long as there are some out here. Whether you have a joy or a concern on your heart today, they are praying with you for your personal or joy, and they will have a powerful opportunity to help you raise the intentions raised in consciousness, and they will also pray with you during the week, whatever you have on that you put on your, what are those called? Connection cards. Yes, thank you. And now let us open our hearts to the consciousness of giving as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, so shall we receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature. There are a variety of ways to financially give to this community. If you choose to use the yellow card for a credit card donation, please include the 3-digit CVC found on the back of your card. If you are an ongoing giver by credit card, please see Shonda in the bookstore with your CVC code. And without this code, we can no longer process your gifts. Now, our blessing. I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and repeat our affirmation with me. Together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
Yes, the light.
Saying yes,
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 yes, the light.
I'm saying yes, yes,
Yes, the light.
I'm saying yes,
Yes,
yes, yes. Oh, I'm saying yes to life. Oh, yes to life. Oh, my.
the spirit of love within me is expressing itself right now. The spirit of love within me is expressing itself right now.
What are we going to create
Today,
a universe Muse is ready to play. Spirit will surely lead the way if you just say yes. Yeah, I'm saying yes.
Yes, alive.
Will you say yes?
Yes, alive.
Will you say yes?
Yes, alive.
Will you say yes? Yes. Oh, I'm saying yes alive right now.
Spirit of life within me is expressing itself right now. The spirit of life within me is expressing itself right now.
Whatsoever you
Conceive,
if you believe it, you can achieve. The universe will always agree if you
just say yes.
Well, I'm saying yes.
Yes, alive.
Will you say yes?
Yes, alive.
Will you say yes?
Yes, alive.
Will you say yes? Yes, alive. We're saying yes, alive. Always. Say it. Say it, yes, alive. Will you surrender and say yes? Take your hands off the wheel and let go and let God. Say yes. Say yes. I'm saying yes. Will you say yes? Yes, yes, yes. Say it, say it, say it, say it, yes alive. I'm saying yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Spirit, for the yes, for the joy, for the expression of all that we are in abundance. Let's bless this offering together. Together, we give thanks for the ever-increasing, unceasing flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is. Thank you. We are Well, today is a very special day. It always is, but it's extra special because we are celebrating Eli and Faith. Can you two come forward? We're not celebrating Faith? Okay, okay, very good. So Eva, are you coming up? So they just got back from Raleigh, and Eli is graduating from YOU. And if you don't know, YOU is Youth of Unity. Our teenagers, high schoolers, and rallies are fabulous, by the way. I highly recommend them. And Eva can tell you more.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Eva. As some of you might know, I'm a regional officer for the YOU. So me and a group of 3 other people put together these weekends that we do twice a year. Last weekend was our fall rally. It was held in Aptos, and the theme of it was getting in touch with yourself, others, and the highest power. So our purpose for the rally was to bring in new activities and to foster a deeper sense of connection. And I think our rally really, really embodied that well. Almost all of the rally was new material. It gave it a fresh feeling that provoked a lot of raw emotion from the participants. And I got a lot of feedback about how people connected on levels like never before, and how they really made breakthroughs with their own self-love and spirituality. So it was really amazing. We chose the purpose because it seems that connection is an extremely important part of all of our lives, with ourselves, others, and God. And so we just did a lot of activities like a labyrinth, a silence, and many meditations. And I overall think it was a really wonderful weekend, full of emotion, love, and understanding.
All right, so I started rally in 2013. My first one was in the May rally. Now, most people, I know from experience when I went to my first rally, the butterflies are like kind of beginner level nervousness that you get. When you go to rally, you don't know anybody there. The only person that I knew from somewhere else was Mark Welsh, and he was the musician for the rally. And the first words that were spoken to me was, "Hey friend, what's your name?" And that was 3 paces from the car. And it was spoken to none other than my, at the time, featured regional officer teammate, Olivia Lamont from Marin. From then, that catchphrase has been my greeting to every single newcomer, and I've made them feel like they've been my best friend that I just reunited with every time that I saw them. Rally, it opens up, what I remember was when I went there, I was like, okay, it's just another page in a book of a textbook. But when I first got there and when I first left, it was like opening up a new door to an entirely different house. It's completely new, and you don't know what to expect. And when you go in, it is something that you're like, your hands are shaking, and I remember because my hands were sweating profusely. And like, we went there, it was just 3 YOUers and 2 adults. So it was my dad, Jeff, myself, and then Billy and his sister. And that was it for Walnut Creek. That was the size of our chapter for 2 rallies. And then it became me and Faith. And that was like, it just dropped down 1 number. But what I'm trying to say is, when you go there, you don't know what to expect, but you always plan for the best. And when you leave, you feel like you're a completely different person. When you leave, you feel like the old you was gone for years. And it's just a sense of fulfillment. And I will always hold a part of Rally in me, and Rally will always hold a part of me in itself.
You want to come to the middle so we can bless you? Wow, Eli, that was really moving. And so now you're one of us, adults out here. And we say, friend, you are welcome. And we hope you stay. Let's bless Eli and all the youth and teachers. Together, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ within you. Thank you, thank you. So I invite you to take your neighbor's hand as we close out with the prayer of protection and the peace song. We'll join with you guys. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. are the light and the love and the peace on earth. So let your light shine and have fun.